Hello, good evening. Welcome. This is Hot Edition. We're live from Aniyusabata, Desawe, Kanda. Also live on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're also on W93.5 in Y and beyond this evening. Electoral Commission says July 11, 2025 to conduct a rerun across 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency after months of deadlock over disputed December 2024 parliamentary elections. Ghana Gold Board bashed 10 Chinese nationals for gold smuggling. Stay with us, we've got details for you. Plus, President John Dramani Mahama confident 24-hour economy policy will bring about transformation in the Ghanaian economy as he launches the initiative. And also, Minister for Energy and Green Transition John Jinapor briefs Parliament on reported missing ECG containers at the Tema port. Stay with us, we've got details for you. Plus, the latest in business and sports for the next 1 hour here on Hot Edition. I am Alfred Ocansey.
And my name is Christabel, success Treve. And in our summaries tonight, the Electoral Commission EC has announced a rerun of elections to be done in 19 polling stations out of 37 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency. The election will be held on Friday, July 11, 2025. The Commission said the rerun has become necessary because presiding officers responsible for the selected polling stations could not verify 19 scanned polling station results used for the collation, although they were approved by agents of both political parties. President John Dramani Mahama has launched the 24-hour economy and accelerated exports development program, a transformative economic policy to revive Ghana's economy. Delivering a speech at the launch of the 24-hour policy on Wednesday, July 2, the president noted that the initiative is more than a mere policy. He says it is not simply about extending working hours, but drafted to reset the nation and make Ghana unlock its full productive potential. The Electricity Company of Ghana has responded to recent statement by Rehoboth Estate, which strongly refuted allegations of power theft. Rehoboth, in a statement on Monday, June 23, denied allegations of power theft at its social housing estate in Kweman, Accra. The real estate developer claimed that full payment for electricity meters was made in 2023, but ECG has yet to complete the installations due to national supply constraints. However, ECG has dispelled this claim by Rehoboth. The power distribution company explained that contrary to Rehoboth's claim, there was no shortage of meters in 2023. And to some international story, Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty on Wednesday of prostitution-related offenses, but cleared of more serious charges after a criminal trial in which two of the music mogul's former girlfriends testified that he physically and sexually abused them. Combs was convicted of transportation to engage in prostitution, but acquitted of racketeering conspiracy and 2 counts of sex trafficking, a partial win for the former billionaire known for elevating hip-hop in American culture. After the jury read its verdict, defense lawyer Mark Agnifilo asked Subramanian to release Combs on bail, and that'll be it for the news summary. For more details, you can log on to 3news.com. Over to you, Alfred.
All right, let's get into it here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. But before we go into the matters of the Electoral Commission, which is just coming through, some news is saying, and this is one that we'll be talking to the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers shortly. Some oil marketing companies have started reviewing prices of petroleum products at the pumps with some mixed adjustment. Prices of petrol have reduced marginally, but prices of diesel have gone up. So take note of this. For instance, Goil, here we monitored Goil, now selling a liter of petrol at 12 cedis 7 pesos from the old price of 12 cedis 38 pesos. So almost 31 pesos reduction per liter at the pumps, quoted earlier today. Now, diesel is going for 13 cedis 20 pesos, as against the old price of 12 cedis 88 pesos, up by the same margin of 30 pesos per liter for diesel. And so, petrol has seen a 30 pesos reduction, diesel has seen a 30 pesos increase per liter in price. So that's what we're monitoring right now. We'll get into it as we go on here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. But the Electoral Commission will conduct a rerun of parliamentary elections in 19 out of 37 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency on Friday, June July 11, 2025. This decision follows months of deadlock after the December 7, 2024 presidential parliamentary elections. Now, leaving the constituency without parliamentary representation due to disputes over the results collation. The Ablekuma North constituency is the only constituency without an MP in this 9th parliament. Now, if you recall, the deputy EC chair was in parliament a little over a week ago to update Parliament on the Ablekuma North matter so far. Prior to that, we had the minority caucus in Parliament marching to the Ghana Police Service, petitioning the IGP to provide security to the Electoral Commission to finish the collation of the results in there. The latest is that the statement that has been issued today, Deputy Chair in charge of operations at the Electoral Commission, Samuel Tete, explained that the rerun of the elections in these 19 polling stations is as a result of the presiding officers who are affected in these polling stations not being able to verify 19 scanned copies of the polling station results used in the collation, despite approval from agents of both political parties. Meanwhile, 18 other stations had verified results and will not require everyone. This despite the dispute, as we've seen, stemming from the destruction of original pink sheets during a violent disruption at the Coalition Center in December 2024. Now, this forced the Electoral Commission to rely on the scanned copies provided by the NPP. The NDC had alleged that these copies are fraudulent, while the NPP maintains that they're indeed valid. Now, below is a list of the affected polling stations as published by the Electoral Commission in that statement not too long ago. God First International School, Dakoman 1 polling station in Nyamiche, Pentecost Church, Mount Zion Assembly, Kwashiman, DVLA Office, Awoshi, Adamame 2nd, Awoshi, Esiedu, Jedu, Memorial School, Awoshi number 1, Living Spring Day Nursery, Kwashibu, number 1, the Lord's Pentecostal Church, Kwashibu, Presby Church, Odoko 4, Chumami, and then there is Church of Pentecost North, Odoko 2, Church of Pentecost North, Odoko 4, and then also Methodist Church, Odoko, and St. John the Baptist Catholic Church, Odoko. We also have the other polling stations named in the statement: Atiko School Complex in Odoko and the South Odoko 4 and 5 schools, and there's a Light of Gospel Miracle Chapel polling station, MTTD Odoko Divisional Station, and the Roman Catholic Church Bozia Junction Odoko polling station, and Bethel Baptist Church Sakaman polling station. All these are the polling stations that we understand, these 19 polling stations that the elections will be rerun. Now, we're going to get into a bit more detail on this one. And Dr. Asitanko, so unfortunately, we got a number of reactions to it as well earlier today, but this is one that has been on our radar for quite a while now, and also what the Electoral Commission has decided to do now. If I recall, Dr. Bosman Asari in Parliament a little over a week ago said this about the Ablekuma North constituency results and what the Electoral Commission intends to do.
The Commission strongly believes that for the processes that have gone on so far, if we go back to the good people of this country that we are abolishing everything, it will not be good for our democracy. It will not be good for our democracy. Thank you. So let's allow the process to continue. Thank you. I would like to start by saying that the Electoral Commission is anxious about completing the Ablekuma North parliamentary election results to ensure that the people of Ablekuma North have a representative in Parliament. As such, we are not relenting and we are not resting on our oars, but we are continuing to engage with the security agencies to ensure that we have the protection to complete the collation. It must be noted that an Accra High Court on 4th January 2025 ruled that the Electoral Commission should go and complete the collation of the results for Tema Central, Ablekuma North, Ocansey Central, and Techiman South constituencies. We have completed all the constituencies except Ablekuma North. These are the efforts the Commission has made so far to ensure the completion of the Ablekuma North parliamentary results since the December 7th elections. On the 9th of December 2024, 15 polling station results were added to the already collated results. All the 54 polling station results or the pin sheets were received from the National Democratic Congress. This brought to 219 collated polling station results. On the 21st of December 2024, 25 polling station results were added to the collation process. All the 25 polling station results were received from the New Patriotic Party. It is important to emphasize that the said 25 pin sheets were not scanned pin sheets, but rather carbon copies from the MPP. Even though the NDC collation agents reported late after 10 of the carbon copies had been authenticated by the returning officer, they were also allowed to go through these 10 carbon copies of the results. Consequently, the rest of the remaining 15 carbon copies were authenticated by both the NDC and MPP agents for that day.
So that's Dr. Bosman Asare there in Parliament, updating Parliament on the ablekuma North. Now we're hearing the news as has just come through from the Electoral Commission, this statement indicating that they are going to run elections or rerun elections in 19 polling stations in the ablekuma North constituency. I've been joined on the telephone, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande, is joining us right now. Thank you. So, Gbande, good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Now, hearing the Electoral Commission now take this decision after consistently indicating that a rerun of the elections in the ablekuma North constituency, the affected polling or the disputed polling stations, was not on the table until today. How does this strike you?
Well, good evening to our cherished listeners. I think first of all, we have maintained that EI 127 is very clear when it comes to collation of resource. It does not contemplate electronically scanned or known copies of pink sheets, or as you may call it, uncarbonated pink sheets. And carbonated herein after means carbonated pink sheets that the same copy is given to all political parties, and then the carbon copy is used by the Electoral Commission to declare the results, which means that whatever the political parties have should reconcile with what the Electoral Commission have used. That is not the case in ablekuma North. And so if today, having advocated that any other means to circumvent CI 127 is not just an illegality, it is an attempt to dilute the will, the resolve of the people of ablekuma North. If today we are back to the reality, I think that the law is the law. If you cannot account for pink sheets, you cannot account the basis to declare, rerun is an option, and that option is one that the NDC will abide by. As a political party, we are ready, willing to go back for any legally, transparently organized election. We believe in the strength of the candidature of our candidate, Arabna Obeng, who on December 7, 2024, the people of ablekuma North voted for overwhelmingly to be their MP, as compared to a candidate of the MPP who is good at twerking her waist on campaign platforms, who is on the record to have been involved in crimes, including visa racketeering, when she was appointed in government. You cannot impose a moral delinquent, a politically corrupt individual on the people when they have rejected her. Every effort by the MPP stressing that the Electoral Commission engaged in an illegality, right from their demonstration from Parliament, trying to pursue the police to invite them into an illegality, is a complete attempt to impose a morally delinquent, a politically rejected misfit on the people of ablekuma North. And today, we in the NDC are ready, if elections will be held, to go back. Because after all, if you write the exams and an examiner decides that for want of better accountability, he wants to nullify the results so that we go back and write. As a good student, you should be willing to go. The NDC will go into that election if we have to go into an election. I have heard my colleagues from the other side jump into rampage. They are going
well, the NPP has indicated, in fact, we received notice that they're going to address a press conference tomorrow regarding this decision by the Electoral Commission.
Of the NPP
yes.
is rerunning a position. For some time now, they have failed to reorganize their party. For some time now, the MPP has disintegrated. So he must be seen to be doing some work. Why are they not rather doing a demonstration? They should go and organize a demonstration. For us, we will go back in a sober reflection. We'll go back in one accord to the people of ablekuma North in those 19 polling stations, believing that our candidate is credible, believing that our candidate, Rabna Obing, is competent, believing that she's a better material to represent the people of ablekuma North. We will go back and appeal to the people to give us the nod, to increase the number of seats of the NDC. After all, ablekuma North is just one of the seats the MPP, tried to illegally snatch or to rig, which didn't work out for them. And so we are ready to go back for that election in one accord. We are confident that our government, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, continue to serve Ghanaians in humility and honesty, continue to rebuild what was destroyed and damaged by President Akufo-Addo and his ilk, supported by the MPP, who continue to harbor political criminals until now. We believe that given the fact that good governance is the track record so far of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, believing that unity has been part of the NDC, believing that we are on course to rebuild this nation, we would win overwhelmingly in those 19 polling stations, competently so. We do not need any other thing to do that. We are ready to go into any election. After all, even if there's a by-election today, we will still go for that election. The NDC is ready to go into any election, and so be it. I don't think that beyond this measure, the EC could have done any other thing, because whatever the remedies proposed by the MPP was, it was an affront to CI 127. It has not been contemplated within the law, and you know them. For them, it is not about law, it's not about service, it's not about what is right. For them, it's about politics. For them, it's about noise making. For them, it's about disingenuity of politics, and they don't do anything right. We are ready. We believe in our candidate. The lady, Rabina Obing, is polite, very humble, presentable material, no record of crime. She's not been engaged in corruption. She goes on campaign platform. She's competently willing and pleading with the people to give her the opportunity to serve. Unlike the other one, who, when she's given campaign platform and she's working her waist, and you all know, how can you? But
Mustafa, there's one thing I wanted to take notice of.
A woman who is engaged in visa racketeering.
Right, but you see, these are allegations we cannot independently confirm or prove. So we have to disassociate ourselves from it with all of the things that you're saying. But then again, I just wanted to bring your mind to this position by the Electoral Commission, and this is going to be my last point. You have been engaging with the Electoral Commission on this ablekuma North debacle, and now the decision to rerun 19 out of the 37 polling station results. Initially, they had indicated that a rerun was off the table. What could have led to this decision now that they have conceded, essentially, that there has to be a rerun? And I wanted to take a listen to Dr. Bosman Asari in Parliament just 2 weeks ago.
Thank you. The Commission strongly believes that for the processes that have gone on so far, if we go back to the good people of this country that we are abolishing everything, it will not be good for our democracy. It will not be good for our democracy. Thank you. So let's allow the process to continue.
That's just 2 weeks ago, Mustafa, and now the.
Well, again, we will be back to the table to discuss the roadmap of having a competent, capable, willing to think outside the box electoral commission. I believe that properly so, the current setup of the electoral commission is a recipe for disaster. The current setup of the electoral commission is not competent enough, given the various truncations, the various altercations, the various difficulties and trust issues that have ensued and characterized most of our elections from last 2 years assembly election till today. You know that even up to date, there are places in this country we haven't held assembly elections. You know, so when we are back on the table to discuss competency, we will take all of these on board. But I do think that the Electoral Commission could not have done otherwise, because the MPP knows that the pink sheets that they made available, those pink sheets are not carbonated. Those pink sheets are manufactured, scanned copies, documents the Electoral Commission cannot verify itself. The various officers of the Commission that were brought to come and validate those pink sheets, some of them even deny the signatures on the document. It's a complete or a denial of signature, given the fact that they have presented same, is enough to invalidate those documents. So you cannot manufacture a law outside CI 127. So you have no option. Given the fact that they're asking us to go and rerun, it gives all political parties a level playing field to go back and campaign. If the MPP believes that their corrupt exposure to the public, what they have done, the pain, the infliction of torture on the people of Ghana, is okay for them to win any election, let them go on Friday and win those 19 polling stations.
Right.
If we believe that tackling corruption, building the foundations they have destroyed, living transparent governance, a sober government, humble government, a government that unites Ghanaians around a clock, is enough to win that election, the NDC will appear and contest that election.
Right.
We are not afraid of election. If they are not afraid, let them go. Let them come and let's go for the election.
Right.
They believe that, and they've been saying that power is patient, that Ghanaians are in love with us, and it is fading away. If they believe so, let us go on Friday for that election.
And it's
they
just
will see what the outcome
it
is.
certainly is just some 9 days away from today. We will be there. We remain your election command center. Mustafa Bande, thank you for talking to us.
I'm grateful.
He's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, the governing NDC, Mustafa Bande. There, you're still live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale, and on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Now, this is one that we're keeping an eye on quite closely. My colleague Stanley Nibleo has been to the Ablekuma North constituency, the constituency without a member of parliament as yet in this 9th parliament. The news of the decision by the Electoral Commission to rerun 19 polling station elections on the 11th of July. Stanley, how are the people reacting to this?
So, Alfred, when you get to Ablekuma North, everybody are just going about their daily activities as if they've heard nothing. Meanwhile, they've heard and they are very aware about the Electoral Commission's announcement that next week, Friday, that is July 11th, there's going to be a rerun of some 19 polling stations. And so, I was able to visit both the NDC and then the MPP constituency offices. When I got there, their offices have been shut, but I was able to interact with some of the ward coordinators because in the constituency they have ward coordinators. So I was able to speak to some of the ward executives. But the NPP, because of the issue that they had with, or they claim they have with TV3, they did not grant us audience. So I was able to even go to the PC's party office in the constituency, that is Equia office. I met a few of the party supporters chatting in front of her party office or her personal office, and they claim that because they are at loggerheads with TV3 or Media General, they were not going to say anything to us. So they were even insisting that we should just hurry up and then leave the premises. But we didn't actually.
Yeah, so you spoke to other people.
I spoke to the NDC supporters who claimed that for them, as soon as they heard the announcement from the Electoral Commission, they started running their campaign. So for them, they have started engaging the voters in these 19 polling stations. And so they are ready to go all out to support their candidates to win this very seat for the NDC. But then again, I spoke to some of the executives again who spoke to me off camera, and from what they've been telling me, even those who spoke to me on camera, after the interviews, they came back to tell me off camera that there is a tension within the NDC in the constituency, and if that tension is not resolved immediately before next week Friday, it is not going to augur well for the NDC in the constituency. This is because there is friction between the PC, which is Arabina Urban, and then the constituency chairman. And in the constituency chairman's ward, there are 7 polling stations within that area, and the chairman has influence in that area. And so the party hierarchy must step in immediately to resolve that fracas so that they can rally the people, the voters in the constituency, for Arabina Urban so that they can vote for her.
Let's hear from them, shall we?
This time in this year, Jumadin, let us say the boy mine. Nti abanisa na high because ye brave ye kun ye hu e ye campaign e ma GM ni ye ma mi rabra e wa Brickmanoff nti abanisa no e high se man kana mi boa nti ba se si anu ye ni e be ka e san se Electoral Commission decide nti enu an se e be ka me ka che mi manfo ni mi nuanum se ye mbo moden na ye mia ye ni ye ntu aba no e ma ye nua ba rabra obri because Brickmanoff no ya tana ha chi she nkoso nyama nkoso we share your gutters and your roads eye basa we share market ye ni market papa bia wa Brickmanoff ha enti ye problem a ye face wa Brickmanoff enti ye pania obeba be boaye ama Brickmanoff akunpun se ne be ya oman no so be ko enim enti
face 19 areas you have to obey Arabina Urban or chances because Banyan say NPP for stronghold.
Oh, say Obika say NPP stronghold. Me me dey happy. Enyo stronghold, but nyama bia enko ni yenti na ya eba nsa. But this time no da ye hu say enyo stronghold. Ye mia ye betumi aye. Nti say maka say me nua ba Arabina Urban no. Wa try ni best. Wa ya die. E bin sida. Emma this year wa ma ye hu difference wa Brickmanoff. And ye hu say Brickmanoff ye strong.
Well, so some of the constituents you spoke to, and so they get up for the 11th of July, which is some 9 days away from today.
Sure.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Stanley Nibleo there. He is a political affairs correspondent in the Ablekuma North constituency. Stay with us. We're in your election command center. We will be in the Ablekuma North constituency. If you're just joining us, the news is that the Electoral Commission will conduct a rerun of parliamentary elections in 19 out of 37 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency on Friday, July 11, some 9 days away from today. This decision follows months of deadlock after the December 7, 2024 general elections, leaving the Ablekuma North constituency without parliamentary representation due to disputes over the results collation. If you recall, just 2 weeks ago, the AC deputy chair, Dr. Bosman Asari, was in Parliament and had ruled out any possibility of a rerun of the elections in any of the polling stations. Well, there has been a rethink or a backtracking of that particular position as espoused by the Electoral Commission Deputy Chair 2 weeks ago in Parliament. Now, the decision is that 19 out of the 37 polling stations, the elections will be rerun. Stay with us. We'll be going into a lot more of that in our subsequent bulletins. But there's a lot that's been happening with the fuel prices. Before we get into gold board, today we have monitored something at the pumps. And it's much to the many who are expecting that fuel prices will go up across board. Here's what we've seen. Some oil marketing companies have started reviewing prices of petroleum products at the pumps with mixed adjustments. Prices of petrol have reduced marginally, but the prices of diesel have gone up. So, for instance, Goil is now selling a liter of petrol at 12 cedis 7 pesos from the old price of 12 cedis 38 pesos. It's been reduced by some 31 pesos per liter. That's as of today. Now, diesel, we have also monitored, has actually increased from 12 cedis 88 pesos and is now selling at 13 cedis 20 pesos. That has also gone up by the same margin that petrol has reduced. So diesel has gone up by about 31 pesos thereabout, and then we're seeing as well petrol gone down by that same margin of 31 pesos. So what's happening? The man who understands the dynamics of this market and had actually projected that there was going to be some stability in terms of the price of petroleum products at the pumps in this pricing window, the first pricing window in the month of July. Duncan Amoah is Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC. Duncan, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Alfred, and thanks for having me.
Now, so how do we make sense of what's happening at the pumps today now that diesel has gone up by 31 pesos per liter, petrol gone down by 31 pesos per liter? What's going on?
It feeds into our broader demand earlier for the pumps to remain stable. You recall we were specific with two of the big companies, Goil, Total, that some of the prices that was quoted for the past window clearly were a bit higher than the market had anticipated. But then again, you got a sense that they were not willing to go down within the window on some of the products because there was latent disruptions here and there that was costing them a lot of money. But as it stands, if you look at just the numbers we have seen so far, probably with Goil and then Shell, you get a clearer picture that it's more of a stability than an upward review. If you go down 31, you come up 31. In one breath, you could have left both prices, what we call cross pricing. There's an effect here, there's an effect on the other one, but since we don't want to disrupt prices, we sometimes will leave the prices for what they are. I am happy that Goil indeed decided to come down on the cost of petrol. The only bit they should have done a bit more for all of us is the other product, the RON 95, which is still selling about 14. I think that they will need to look at it again because that price again, even for the market currently, is a bit on the high. But that said, generally, a lot of the oil marketing companies have been stable on their prices for this new window in July, and that for us is very welcoming.
But then again, also, it appears that the earlier fears we had about the impact that this Israel-Iran conflict would have on crude oil prices has been watered down, is it not? Because I'm looking at the price of Brent crude on the Bloomberg terminal right now, and it's trending downwards to a little over just $68 per barrel. As against just about a week ago, we're talking about some $72 a barrel, trending towards even $80 at some point. So how do you envisage things will play out in going into the second pricing window?
Well, the truth is that the Israeli-Iranian, tension did have some impact on international markets. If you look at the cost of which is PMS for the window, it did move from $691 a barrel to about $740 a barrel. per metric ton. This is the cost of finished product per metric ton, 691,740. Difference of some $49 a metric ton. Diesel did also go up from 625 to 722, about $97 a metric ton. LPG also has seen about $36 from 456 to 492. There was some effect, but don't forget the Ghanaian market is a very competitive one. Some of the players or oil marketing companies that had adjusted downward, some are actually trading even petrol for around 10.99. Others are around the 11 region. For those OMCs, if they were to go up a little, marginally, it will be understood. For the others that were already trading higher, when we requested that they probably stay their prices or give the Ghanaian some stability with the prices they quote at the pumps, we were quite mindful of the fact that it was feasible, it was doable. I could not see how God would have told Ghanaians they were adding on the cost of petrol. Although the international market had gone up by some $49 a metric ton, you've seen that they've rather declined on that specific item. Diesel that did go up by some 97. I'm sure they couldn't have done much but to go up a little on that. Truth be told, the Iranian-Israeli conflict did have some impact on the cost of finished products. Again, for the new window that we have just begun for July, the indications are pointing downward. The trend is looking quite good. And as it is with crude prices and the cost of finished products, every time crude goes up, Alfred, you have about a 5-day lag within which the cost of finished products also follow. And so now that crude prices seem to have tumbled globally, there's every possibility that the 740 we were witnessing for a metric ton would decline probably back to the 600 region. Diesel around 722 could also decline back to the 600 region. If that happens, probably the second half of July, we should see prices drop. And that is where I think the government and the GRA is getting the indication they should fit in the 1 Ghana cedi levy that had been passed about a month ago.
And I do appreciate your expert analysis of this situation and how the coming days and even the second pricing window would look like. Thank you so much, Duncan, for your time this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Duncan Amor is Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, there. And on this same path of this levy, that's the energy sector levy, that an additional 1 cedi was approved by Parliament. It was earlier suspended. The implementation of that 1 cedi additional levy was suspended. The Ghana Revenue Authority yesterday, late hours of yesterday, has announced that the implementation of the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025 will officially begin on July 16, 2025, following the temporary suspension last month. In a statement signed by the Acting Commissioner General, Anthony Akwesi Sapong, the authority referenced its earlier communication on June 13, which disclosed the government decision to postpone the levies rollout. Richmond Roxon, who speaks for the Energy Ministry, has been talking a lot more about this development.
And then the big issues for the support for this levy. Initially, concerns were raised, and as has always been the case, the Minister of Energy and Green Transition continued to engage stakeholders. So that now there's been a lot of endorsements and support, and as you rightly referred to, the Global Info Analytics survey shows that the people of Ghana want stable power supply, and they recognize that this will be a key intervention to resolving the problems, especially liquid fuels when it comes to the production or generation of power. Initially, we were supposed to, when this amendment was passed, we were supposed to start implementation, but the OMCs raised some issues. As conscious as the government is, the government stayed the decision, engaged them, resolved the issues that they had, and we're supposed to implement this from the 16th of June. Before that, we had unfortunate conflict between the two countries that led to some disturbance in geopolitics and the prices of crude oil and fuel on the international market. The monitoring has been done as the President directed, that the Minister of Finance as well as the Minister of Energy and Green Transition to monitor to ensure that the gains made are sustained. Over the last 2 weeks, the ministers have done comprehensive monitoring, also done comprehensive consultation, and have decided that it will be ideal to commence the effective date from 16th of July 2025.
Right.
At this point in time, it will be difficult to give specific numbers. What we expect is that we expect prices to be fairly stable as it's been. In the last 8 or 9 pricing windows, we've seen prices over around 10, 11, 12, depending on which OMC you purchase from. In the next pricing window, we'll look at the dynamics, what the indicators will be. So far, it's obvious that the exchange rate will still be stable. It's around 10.2 now. We'll look at the price of crude, which has dropped at the last check this morning, was around $65 per barrel. We'll also look at the international prices for finished products within the period, look at the average and determine what the prices will be. But our indication is that the prices will be fairly stable. Even if there will be any change, definitely it should be marginal. Yes, the government so far has showed that it is concerned about what the fuel prices are, concerned about the gains that we've made, concerned about the economic situation that the country finds itself. The government's intention is not to unfairly ask the people of Ghana into difficulty. So as and when the prices escalate, definitely, as the government has showed, the government will take a look at it and then take a decision whether to suspend, review, or even proceed with it. So be rest assured, the people of Ghana have the assurances of government that at every material point in time, their interest will be paramount in the implementation of this levy. The most important thing is that the power challenges must be dealt with decisively. Once this levy is introduced, we'll have a dedicated fund to procure liquid fuel and then also resolve some of the challenges that we've seen in order to give the people of Ghana a clean energy sector that we met it.
That's Richmond Roxon. He speaks for the Energy Ministry there. Let's go to some stories related to the gold board, shall we?
Yes, we shall. The Ghana Gold Board, also the Gold Board, in collaboration with National Security, has apprehended a group of 10 foreign nationals involved in illegal gold trading in the Western region. The coordinated operation also led to the seizure of 12 pump-action shotguns, ammunition, calibration equipment, large sums of cash, and quantities of gold. This development comes just days after Gold Board warned against trading in gold without a valid license issued under its regulatory framework. The Chief Executive Officer of Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, announced the official commencement of the new gold licensing regime, which revokes all gold trading licenses previously issued under the former Precious Minerals Marketing Company. Speaking at a press conference, Sami Jemfi emphasized that all old licenses became invalid after the non-extendable deadline of June 21, 2025. He warned that any gold trading activities conducted without the new Gold Board license are now considered illegal.
Unfortunately, there are those who are hell-bent on flouting the laws of Ghana, illegally trading gold, illegally smuggling gold, because they do not care about our country, they do not care about our economy, and they do not care about our people. They do not care about the laws of this country. And we at the Ghana Gold Board are determined to show such persons that they are not above the law. And that we mean business. And at this time around, you cannot engage in illegal gold trading and gold smuggling and go scot-free. The law will catch up with you. Right from the outset, of the implementation of the new gold board licensing regime, we took the time to explain that foreigners could no longer trade in gold in Ghana. Foreigners could no longer deal in gold. And in fact, we gave foreigners ample grace time to exit the market. But we are learning that despite this grace time opportunity we gave, there are still foreigners in the market who are actively buying gold. They have only changed their strategy and the mode of their operations. So we have intensified intelligence gathering. We have a lot of intelligence officers deployed across Ghana, and we know where these foreigners are hiding. Most of them are operating in private residences, their homes, which they have turned into illegal gold trading, facilities. And some are also hiding in hotels, illegally buying gold. And once they buy the gold, no foreigner can sell gold to the gold board. No foreigner can sell gold to an aggregator of the gold board. So the only thing they do is to smuggle the gold. Now, less than 48 hours after our press conference, only this week, where we took the pain to once again explain the new licensing regimes and the fact that foreigners can no longer trade in gold, we got solid intelligence from our informants on the ground that there were a number of Chinese, about 10 of them, who were hiding somewhere in Asenkrugwa in the western region. They were hiding in a private residence, and they were actively buying gold to smuggle out of Ghana. And they have many ways of smuggling the gold. They have many ways of laundering, the proceeds of that criminal enterprise. And so we deployed a gold board task force, which is of course yet to be inaugurated, but is currently working on an ad hoc basis in conjunction with the National Security Secretariat. And under the cover of darkness, the sins of these 10 Chinese found them out. We busted them at their base, arrested all of them, and during the operations we were able to seize gold that is worth about, we are talking about 1.3 kg of gold. And the 1.3 kg of gold is worth close to 1.4 million Ghana cedis. That is 14 billion old Ghana cedis. But we also seized a lot of cash from them, worth 1.3, a little over 1.3 million as well. So we got gold of about 1.3 kg. We got cash of about 1.3 million. And we got a lot of what they call casino cars. I don't like casinos, but I'm just being educated that these are casino cars, and this is money. So what they do is that they convert the money into casino cars, and they have two huge safes. The safes are down there. If you want to take the pictures of that, the relevant officers will facilitate for you to take pictures. They have two huge safes in which they were keeping not the money, not the gold, but the casino cars. So it does appear that the casino cars are very, very valuable and important to these Chinese.
That was Sami Jane-Fee, the Chief Executive Officer of Gold Board. Earlier today, President John Dramani Mahama launched the 24-hour Economy and Accelerated Export Development Program, which is a transformative economic policy to revive Ghana's economy. Delivering a speech at the launch of the 24-hour policy on Wednesday, July 2, the president noted that the initiative is more than a mere policy. He noted that the program is a carefully drafted policy to reset the nation and make Ghana unlock its full potential and productivity.
Our task now is to move from vision to implementation, from aspiration to action, This launch is not the end, but it is the beginning of a massive national mobilization. But let me be clear here. The 24H Plus agenda is not simply about extending working hours. It is about unleashing productivity, expanding opportunity, accelerating exports through well-structured, multi-sectoral, and inclusive interventions. And so we would have national consultation and co-design. And over the past 6 months, the 24-hour plus secretariat under the presidential advisor, Mr. Guzitano, and his team has undertaken an extensive national engagement process. They've listened to entrepreneurs, both large and small, both formal and informal. They've listened to organized labor, cooperatives, farmers, and traders. They've listened to artists, technologists, traditional rulers, and religious bodies. They've consulted with diaspora groups, development agencies, investors, and infrastructure experts. They've talked to youth and women's organizations, scientists, and educational institutions. Alongside the private sector, the Secretariat has worked with government ministries, departments, and agencies to align regulatory, fiscal, and institutional frameworks to the program. The 24-hour plus agenda comprises synergistic sub-programs that are tailored to key value chains, and you must have heard the ministers mentioning them. These include Grow 24. Now, Grow 24 is about boosting agricultural productivity, agro-processing, and food security. Make 24 is about revitalizing our manufacturing and industrialization. Build 24 is about accelerating infrastructure, construction, housing, and public works. Show 24 is about harnessing Ghana's rich creative, cultural, and tourism assets.
President John Dramani outlining the 24-hour economy. We'll be back after this break with the business news. This is still Hot Edition. Please stay.
Ghana. It's a new year and Bills Microcredit is here to support your dreams. If you're not working but want to start a business, don't let money stop you. With just your Ghana card, you can get a loan to turn your ideas into reality. Already running a business? Need more capital? Or are you a salary worker looking for extra funds? Bills offers fast and easy loans with no collateral, no deposit, and no SUSI savings required. Wherever you are, whatever you need, Bills makes it happen. Call Bills Microcredit today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390 and get started. Bills is licensed and regulated by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
Mark your calendars. Is the 3FM Baby Fair happening live on the 11th to the 13th of July at Marina Mall Airport City in Accra from 10 a.m. and it's absolutely free. From baby essentials and kids wear to toys, skincare, educational material, and so much more. Shop amazing deals on a wide range of childcare products all under one roof. Don't miss our sessions with the Ghana Pediatric Society and all the amazing mums with the Mum Circle, a safe space for young mothers to share tips and connect. And there will be fun activities for the kids with our Kids Corner, games for the family, good food, and great vibes all around. To be a vendor, please call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927. It's the 3FM Baby Fair, your one-stop event for all your childcare needs.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Let's start from the local scene because on Sunday, Asante Kotoko and Accra Heart of Oak will renew their rivalry in the President Cup. Kotoko look to continue their recent dominance over their bitter rivals, with the Porcupine Warriors yet to lose in their last 5 games against Heart of Oak. Meanwhile, the game will be the first of Heart of Oak new manager Didi Dramani, who has highlighted the importance of the clash.
The Sunday game, we've been working just because of our team building processes. This is just one of the many events that will come. I'm not sure this is the last time House of Oak will be meeting Kotoko. There will be several of these going forward. There will be 2 league games here and there. There will be likely an FA Cup, meeting wherever, or there could be, as we have always been seeing people try to arrange matches because they are the biggest club. You never will underestimate, matches involving Kotoko and Accra Sport. And I believe that every coach who sits in understands what they see. Every player who is given the opportunity to be in understands what the stakes are. So in the stakes of this, you don't normally in El Clasicos, much is not said about it. All that we expect is that fans should drop to the stadiums and then come to cheer their backs, and then I believe that we will continuously build our team, and then we will come and put up, a very.
So that was new Heart of Oak coach Didi Dramani. Let's still stay with Ghanaian players because Abdulaziz Issa is expected to return to Dreams FC after the second half of last season, spending the second half of last season on loan at Barca Athletic. Issa hardly got a look in the team with just a paltry 2 appearances totaling 26 minutes of playtime. Despite this, my colleague Solomon Amankwa believes the experience garnered at Barcelona will help shape the future of Issa.
I like to play against this kind of big player, and it's a great man. He was a top player. He's still good, and we
I don't think it's disappointing. I think it is a morale booster for the young chap. At age 18, you have opportunity to travel from Ghana to FC Barcelona, get the opportunity to train with some of the best players in the world. It builds your CV. It gives you that confidence that if you work a little bit harder, you get opportunity in playing for some of the big clubs in the world. And I think that with Abdulaziz Issa and the kind of talent he has, it will not take a longer period for him to move out to the mainstream European football. Of course, at Barcelona, you are expected to do more. If you look at what Lamine Yamal is doing, if you look at what Gavi, Pedri at their ages and what they are doing, especially when you are a forward player, you are expected to do more than these players. And I think that he could not live to that standard. But that does not mean that he is short of quality. Maybe Barcelona decided.
And so that was my colleague Solomon Amankwa. Apologies for the technical error there. But let's do some more here and head to Europe, where the Club World Cup has reached the quarterfinal stage. Borussia Dortmund are set to face Real Madrid in the upcoming quarterfinal stage, and Dortmund beating Monterrey there by 3-2. But quickly before we go, let's bring some transfer updates, and that has to do with Ghanaian winger Kamaldeen Sulemana, who has joined Italian outfit Atalanta from Southampton on a 4-year deal with an option for a further year. The Italian side are expected to pay 17 million euros upfront and 4 million in add-ons. And so that's the latest with regards to transfers, bringing an end to the sports segment here on Hot Edition. My name is Ore Kwampofo.
They're the best. Turn it up. 92.7.